Okay. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the 57th talk of the Rail Enthusiast Society. We started in August 2020 thanks to COVID. Please mute yourself. We started in August 2020 thanks to COVID. We would perhaps started in any case, but maybe a couple of years later, not in 2020. So therefore, we are now in our 57th talk. Today's topic is the Darjeeling Himalayan Railway, and the speaker is Mr. Rishabh Chaudhary, who happens to be the current director of the Darjeeling Himalayan Railway. I must say that of all the railway sections in India, including those on the plains, perhaps the most difficult to run is the Darjeeling Himalayan Railway, because it happens to be to run not along a road, but inside a road. Therefore, you have encroachments, you have traffic, you have accidents, and plus being in the hills where you have very heavy rainfall, you have landslides and floods and all kinds of things. Therefore, it is one of the most difficult difficult sections to manage. Mr. Rishabh Chaudhary, today's speaker, is the director of the railway now. With only about 10 years service, he's definitely very mature, and he was selected to take over this post and do whatever he can for the railway. I will not spend much time, so I'm handing over to Rishabh. Rishabh, over to you.
Thank you so much, sir. Very good morning and good evening to people from Australia. And thank you so much, sir, for inviting me for this wonderful talk. Uh, Darjeeling Himalayan Railway, as sir said, is a very unique railway, right? So it's started construction in 1879 as when this company was established, the Darjeeling Himalayan Railway Limited. And in the British time, only the Britishers could actually develop a railway system. So this was initially envisioned and proposed as a tramway, and because of that, in the entire section, you wouldn't find any tunnels. It's completely along the road, as sir said, inside the road for the fact of matter. So it was a very difficult terrain, and when I was selected as a director, and I when I started here, I was asked that why do we need to save this railway? Why we need to promote this railway? So some people here were of the view that maybe this is a foreign thing, a British thing, right? So why should we protect it? My only answer then, and the same answer that I have now, that yes, it was a British brainchild, yes, but the people who executed it were all Indians, and this was a nearly 250 kilometers railway, and I was astonished to know that it was built in just 2 years. The entire difficult terrain was completed in a matter of just 2 years. The length that I of what was the original expanse of this railway. It has a lot of unique features, a couple of which I have shown you in this diagram. So the easier one is the loop, the most famous of which is the Batashia loop that we see between Ghum and Darjeeling, and the other is the Z reverse. Reverse is a technical marvel in itself, right? So uh, the lore that behind the Z reverse is that the engineers were perplexed when scaling Tindaria, that how to cover this region, because it was impossible to either have a loop or a gradual increase because the gradient increase was so much. So then they decided to have a reverse in which the train will climb a gradient. Then, as you can see in the lower portion is the reverse, and then there will be a point through which the train will be pushed back, and again it will be pushed back climbing the gradient, and then again the point will be switched, and again it will climb the gradient and go ahead. So this was a very unique feature that it was introduced by Darjeeling Himalayan Railway. And in DHR, we like to say that as in DHR and so in life, Sometimes to go ahead, you have to come back, right? और in हिंदी कभी कभी आगे जाने के लिए पीछे आना पड़ता है. So telling about the back, let's move to our first section. So the first section is the roots, uh, where it started and why it started. So the Herald, the it happened because of a need, and the need was the booming tea industry that was there in Darjeeling, and the transport that was available through the hill cart route was very expensive for the locals, and both for transportation of tea down the hills and transportation of essentials up the hills. So this railway was envisioned somewhere around the 1870s, mid 1870s, and it started, as I said, as a tramway. It started building in 1879. Since 1881, when it was completed, DHR has become a very integral part of the society here. DHR is unique in all the mountain railways of India and most of the mountain railways in the world because it doesn't have a dedicated, corridor. It travels all along the way, travels through habitation and along the habitation, which has made it very culturally active. Uh, the we As I said, there were three sections in total. We can break it down into. So there was a Kalimpong section, which went from Siliguri, taking the Sevak route to Kalimpong, but it was unfortunately lost after independence to floods and hasn't been reclaimed since. And the other section, which was the Kishanganj section, the plains, the section of the plains, this section was lost, not lost, but it was converted into a broad gauge section after independence for connecting India to the rest of Northeast. Now moving on to the third point, the heritage. So in 1999, this railway became only the second railway in the world to attain World Heritage Site status. Currently, we have 13 active steam locomotives, B-class steam locomotives. There is another plus one that you see. So that plus one is because we are in the midst of bringing one locomotive back from NRM, where it was plinthed for more than 2.5 decades. And we will be bringing it, and then we'll be working on it first by ourselves, and then we have invited the people from DHRS to help us out in building and reclaiming that locomotive. The other plus one is for Baby Sevak. So it's a contractor's locomotive that we have here. And again, it was again a museum piece in the Ghum Museum. We have made it functional, although it the performance of it can improve, and we are working on that. But making it functional, make it run, is a big thing that we have achieved, and that gave us the confidence to try 799, which we are bringing from the National Rail Museum in Delhi. Coaches, we have 68 of them here, and nine diesel locomotives in total. You see 8+1 because we had six. We have just got two new locomotives which have been commissioned, and one more is on the way, and we can expect it by December end. Now, let's talk about the relevance, right? Because for any railway to survive, especially this kind of a railway, relevance is most important. So, first, the economic relevance. Since the establishment of this railway has been a lifeline of the hills. And specifically after the UNESCO World Heritage Site status, uh, the hills economy has transformed because of this railway. Since the railways has attained that status, the Darjeeling tourism industry has seen a rapid boom, and the the hill railways are always front and center of this economic thing. Uh, as far as our performance is concerned, This year, compared to that last year, we have seen a more than 20% growth in footfall as well as in revenue. For the first time after a lot of years, we are uh, in profit, and things are looking great ahead in terms of revenue at least. The demand was always there. Uh, the supply had to be managed. So the figures that you see, the growth that you see, is just from supply management. And the steps that we are also taking for bringing in more tourists, that we are hoping will give us even more better revenue for the next year. Stations, all the railway stations along the track are local economy centers. Wherever you go in Darjeeling, across this railway, you'll find, be it Darjeeling or be it Kurseong or be it in Tindharia or any other station, all economic activity of that city or of that town will be centered around the railway station. So yeah, so economically the railway is very, very relevant.
Normal water, water, drinking. What
Uh,
about, no, no, no.
now, uh, now let me come to the social part. So again, as I told you, this railway is very connected to the locals. Socially relevant, social relevance is very important. So we have taken a lot of steps. There was take steps taken, it's like the Sahayata scheme earlier too, but we have also in the recent past conducted a lot of steps, which include a lot of collaborations with NGOs and collaborations with local groups. Like in the sense, when we have a festival, for an example, we have a summer festival. So in summer festival, what we have done, or in the Ghoom festival, what we have done, we have opened ourselves to all the local groups, small groups, like for example, a cycling group. So in Kurseong, like for example, we'll have a group known as Kurseong Riders, Kurseong MTB Riders, or mountain bike riders. So we have given them the backing to conduct the event under our banner, and all the help, logistical help that is needed will be provided by us. But uh, the whole event is managed by those guys. So not only it builds a trust level amongst the locals with the DHR, it also helps them, to do bigger and better things which they might not have been able to do by themselves. Stations, besides being economy centers, are also community centers as well. Like I stay in Kurseong, whatever event happens in Kurseong, it always starts at the Kurseong railway station. For example, if a local religious gathering is happening, if any rally is happening, or if someone has to do a blood donation camp, everything and anything will start at the Kurseong railway station. You'll find locals chilling out, locals discussing, having an adda. So, so this is how ingrained the whole railway is with the locals. Another thing that we have found, that we do not have to search for volunteers when we uh, go for cleanliness drives or beautification drives. People here are so passionate about the railways that they do it by themselves. Now let's move on to the third point, the heritage. So we are one of the only few railways in the world which still continuously runs uh, functioning steam passenger railways. We have a very dedicated local as well as a foreign fan base who are very passionate and justifiably slow, very demanding as well. But yeah, it is a pleasure to be a director of this railways because of such passionate people that are attached to it. As far as UNESCO is concerned, UNESCO has given us a mandate known as the CCMP, this Chief Conservation Manual for us, and we have to implement it. We are in the process of implementing it. Some of its uh, terms are a little tough, but we are trying to do that as well. Now, the cultural aspect. Again, as I said earlier, culturally, this thing is just amazing. Uh, every shop you go here, each and every shop that you would visit, you will find a Darjeeling loco model there. You wouldn't find this in Kalka Shimla, you wouldn't find this in Mathiran, you wouldn't find this in Ooty Railways. Every shop you go, the imagery, the iconography is so vivid and so ever present that you wouldn't believe it when you come here. Uh, this railway has been featured like anything in not only Nepali and local movies, Bollywood movies, in songs and in lore. It's ever present, and it's deeply woven into the cultural tapestry, right? So now let's move on to the roadmap. The third point of our lecture is the roadmap. So it's a five point thing. I'll start with the first point. So with the rolling stock. Uh, so as I told you, so three new diesel locomotives are coming. Two of them have come. One is under commissioning, and one will receive by December end. We are also looking at development of two rail buses. Uh, Restoration and upgradation of 15 vintage coaches is also there. So this restoration is uh, completely based on as it was basis, right? How the coach was built during the 1960s when it was built. And by upgradation, we mean that all the 68 coaches that we have are coaches from the 1960s. We have the drawings of coaches from 1920s, 1940s, but we don't have them physically. So we had some coaches which were post 2000 coaches, which are not heritage coaches. So what we have decided is to convert those coaches into replicas, working replicas of coaches from the 1920s. So there will be three coaches in the first phase, which is why it's written the upgradation. So three coaches will be converting into models from the uh, older generation. And why we are doing so? Because one mistake that I feel the railways did was use the design of broad gauge in meter gauge and narrow gauge coaches. What's the mistake is what is the basic mistake is that uh, narrow gauge coaches throughout the world and even in India back then were meant to open from side, which means there were a lot of cabins and all the cabins had doors which opened from the side. Uh, and broad gauge coaches had only two doors, one at left end and other at the other extreme end. So having that broad gauge model inside the narrow gauge coaches limits the space a lot. So we are trying to bring back that. If possible, I'll share you the photograph as well. Then, as I said, we are bringing back 799 from the B class locomotive 799 back from NRM, and hopefully we can get it back into working order. Now, the second most important thing that is there is the infrastructure restoration. So we are very clear with one thing that restoration of all heritage buildings will be done on as it was basis. Starting with the Darjeeling station. I'll share a glimpse of what the Darjeeling station might look like in a few years after I'm done with the presentation. And we have had a permanent heritage consultant to approve and provide heritage impact assessment. This heritage consultant has been chosen from a list of impaneled ASI, that is Archaeological Survey of India, impaneled ASI architects. So he is very thorough with his job and understands what a heritage is and how to protect it. And yeah, he will be he has been of great help, and I'm sure we can move ahead with a proper restoration of all these, whether it be stations or buildings, old buildings or quarters. We will be able to do that. DPR of the works have been yes, as I said, the DPR will be approved only by the ASI architect. Now the third part is the public relations. Yes, so Another challenge that we have here is uh, over the time what has happened, for the good or generally for the good, is that we have become more of a tourist railway, right? So it has brought us a lot of revenue, not only us, but even the locals. But what has happened, unfortunately, a side effect of that is we have lost a lot of local travel. So people here owned this railway because they felt that it is their baby, right? And that connection is, I feel, is getting a little lost because the local travel aspect is, has diminished. And practically it is a little difficult to start the local trains again, because tourism is such a thing that it has been tried in the past, and unfortunately what happens is, people from the tourism industry will buy those cheaper tickets and will sell those at higher prices to tourists. So the whole purpose was being defeated. So what we have done is now we are targeting children, because we have offered free rides to children every day in the morning. Uh, so what we have done, we have told schools that whenever you want, you can contact us, and in the morning joyride train, there will be always a coach reserved for you. You can send your children, and they can travel on this train. It was only yesterday. I'll like to just make a small digress. So yesterday was children's day before yesterday was Children's Day, and we actually had a special joyride from Siliguri to Downtown for children with vision disabilities who are blind, and children with suffering from autism, right? And I was there when the ride ended at Rongtong, and got to talk to some of these special children, and I was mesmerized by the things that they said. They, like, one of the child was saying that um, that he couldn't see the a train or see the visuals outside. Yes, but he told me that when the cold wind hit me, when the sound of the engines went to my ears, it was something very special. All I had goosebumps, is what he said. And the smile that one saw on his face was something very, very special, that one only gets to experience maybe in DHR. So yeah, the other thing we are doing is, obviously, we are doing the summer festivals and the winter festivals. The Goom Festival is starting on the 29th, and all of you are invited there. And again, as I said, summer festivals or winter festival, we are primarily, what we are doing, we are trying to associate with as many local groups or as many people as possible. Then the fourth part is again a very, very, very important part, is the knowledge. Again, the first thing that I felt when I reached DHR was the knowledge portion. Unfortunately, due to a lot of things, there has been arson, there has been loot during a lot. This has been a tumultuous area, right? So there was an infamous 1987 burning of the AME office. So in which we lost a lot of our manuals, lost a lot of our uh, records that we have had there. And over time, what has happened, that we have lost a lot of skills as well, which is very evident. Or if maybe not lost, maybe we need to upgrade our skills. Maybe that is a better way of saying that. So what we have started with is, we are setting up Dharohar. So Dharohar is Hindi word for heritage, and it stands for Darjeeling Himalayan Academy for Railway Operations, Heritage and Research. So this will be not only a heritage academy just for the Darjeeling Himalayan Railways, but It will also be for all the mountain railways of India and all the heritage buildings of India. Now, why is this important? UNESCO CCMP very correctly mandates uh, a, a common skill base for all the Himalayan railways, because the working on these railways is completely different from down there, from down in the plains. Things like disaster management in plains and disaster management in hills cannot be compared. The requirements of disaster management in hills are landslide protection, flash floods, landslips, earthquakes, right? So these are something that have to be taught to the railways. And there is unfortunately no dedicated center for that with us as of now. And we aim to set up this institute to make it a dedicated center for Himalayan railways across India. Then we are also in the process of rehiring ex-DHR staff. So we have got an approval from headquarters, zonal headquarters. We have also processed for an approval for a national level institute from the railway board. So it will take some time to build this. So we are trying to set it up in Karshio. If some of you have visited that place. So there was this old press building, which has been decommissioned since past 15 years. So we are repurposing that into this institute, and it will take some time to set it up completely and get it up to the global standards. But in the meanwhile, we'll use a space at Tindharia and begin the refresher courses for the steam loco pilots and the station masters. But again, a missing thing that we saw was that these loco pilots and or the managers were going for refresher courses as they're bound to, but where they were going for, there were no dedicated steam courses. Yes, there was a reference to how a steam loco would work, or how a station master is supposed to work in a steam segment, but that will be only one period or two period in say 7 days. So that was wastage of his time. So that we have gotten corrected, and we'll uh, hopefully we'll start that very soon. Knowledge exchange with foreign railways is just not only because we want to connect with them. We want to get their good practices, and we will also like to share our practices as well. And we have had some talks with THRS. We are looking at Peter. Peter, I think, will be joining us the next year, and hopefully we can progress further from that as well. Now, on the fifth point, revenue. So the operating ratio has been continuously under 100 since April 2025. That is good. We have had new partnerships with the forest department and with the tea states. I'll again at the end of this presentation, I'll show you what I mean by that. And we have introduced some premium charters and some value-added services as well. And we have introduced shorter routes and newer scheduled trains. All of these have got quite a lot of uh, good feedback from all stakeholders. Just a second. I'll just show you the thing that I'm talking about. So I'll just make a small digress, and I'll just tell you a fascinating story. So see, today's customer, what I feel is has got money to spend, but what he looks for is a premium experience, and Darjeeling Himalayan Railway is a premium tourist destination without a shadow of doubt. But again, we have to build that premium experience. So the next few slides that I will show you is how we are doing that. So this is, I'll just take a digress of 2 minutes to share you a story. So in the 1920s, there was this Maharani of Cooch Vihar who came to the Windermere Hotel there which is just above the Darjeeling Chaurasta, for a ball. And After some time, she was fed up with the ball and she called up the general manager of DHR then, that I want to escape this thing. Please find me a way. So the general manager arranged three coach saloon for her, in which there was a dining car, a car for her, and other for guests. And this Marani had a party starting from Darjeeling up to Siliguri. And then the next day's newspapers read, and it was in the night, right? And the next day's newspaper read, what is the a name for it. This journey is Marani's Great Escapade, and we have taken that name, and we have introduced a premium charter service, which will happen on full moons, and will include uh, at Gulma Tea Estate. It will include plucking session as well in the night, and these sort of things we are looking at to attract even better and premium customers. In the forest, with the forest, what we have done, in Kurseong, there is a very dense forest up in downhill. So we have partnered with them. People can come to Kurseong. They can before going on a joyride from Kurseong to Manadi, which is a very, very brilliant section, especially during the sunset, they can go up to hills. There, they will be given a tour or a trek of the hills, accompanied by forest guards, and then a lunch with prepared by the tribals inside the forest, sourced from forest things, will be also offered to them. Visits to museums and other things. So, and this has been received very well from the community across, be it local parties, or be it prominent stakeholders like the tour operators. This has been received very well, and we hope that we can get it up and running from the next year. This is another thing that has been very popular. So this is the Lillian's test. Again, I'll make a short digress. So there was this girl known as Lillian. She was the daughter of one of the tea estate owners, and she was in love with an Indian guy, but his father found out and sent her away. So what this Indian guy did, he was from a well-off family, but he joined his father's tea estate. And why did he do so? Because every couple of months, his father would send a tea chest full of teas, best teas, to his daughter to England. And what this guy will do, will slip in a small velvet pouch. Inside that velvet pouch will be a love letter, drawings from Kurseong, and some flowers of Kurseong. So we have taken that concept and created a souvenir box. And currently we are giving this souvenir box to everyone and anyone who comes on charter. And people are very happy to see this. We are also selling it, and it's selling like crazy. So yeah, so these are the things that we have done. I'll end this presentation by showing you the Darjeeling DPR. So just give me a second. The Darjeeling station that we are planning for.
Thank you very much, Rishabh.
Yes, sir. So it will take me a couple of minutes. We can have a discussion. I'll just bring out the video and then share with everyone.
Okay.
Sir.
If there are any questions or somebody would like to make a comment.
Sir,
Please unmute yourself before you speak.
yeah, Apurva Bahadur, I have a question for you. You said that the station masters also require different training for diesel as well as when the train is operated under steam. So, what is the difference for the station master?
So the very basic difference that this narrow gauge railway has is so that this railway has a follow me system. We don't have a signaling system. As such, above Sukna, we have signals to Sukna, but after Sukna, this goes in a follow me section. That if one train departs, another train can follow the next train just to its tail.
So all down trains, all up trains will follow each other. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. It can do that.
Okay.
So it's a very specific system designed for this railway, and not much is taught to these station masters regarding that. So which is why dedicated course is required.
Yes.
I-
So what would the steam if a steam train comes, what will the station master do differently? I can understand watering, maybe letting go of the ashes or something like that, which the
Mhm.
diesel does. So is there anything else that the station master does differently?
Uh, Not exactly, sir, but yeah, the duties of a station master are slightly different to that, maybe in open line. So what happens when they go to for the refresher courses as of now is they are fed a lot of open line stuff which are not relevant to
It's
our
not
uh,
relevant to them. Yeah.
yes, yes.
Okay.
So we want that they should be trained at least in stuff that is relevant to them actually,
All right.
and having say a common heritage institute for all the station masters will also help them in exchanging knowledge with all the mountain railways across India,
Yeah.
and maybe help better the system.
All right, sir. Thank you so much.
So
Yeah.
uh,
Anubhav? Yeah.
yeah. Good morning, everyone. As usual, this is a nice presentation from Director Sir. Good morning from Kochi here right now. Actually, I'll add some points
hmm
upon my mind. I know some of them. I would request Sir to elaborate further on them. First is
right.
the Dhruti initiative for the local connect. And please share about all information about the new initiative which we already learned about the new boards, the new unique boards showcasing each culture, each station's culture across the network. Third,
Okay.
I'd like to discuss is that the current operation of the Tindharia workshop,
hmm
many people avoid that place because it's not on the way, and what is now going on there, and it's part of the is whether it is part of the any tour that has been announced planned by the DHR, and whether rail enthusiasts can visit them, and what the works are there going on. And similarly, on coming to Hillcut Road, now this road hasn't been the main road after the opening of Rohini Road, so people
hmm
have a transport issue on that. Any chances that the DHR may use local services on this route? And upcoming Ghoom Festival would be the very best ever. I would be there. I request as a DHR enthusiast, everyone to attend. There will be photos, local festival, everything. And please more elaboration on that. And regarding Shiliguri shed, we have seen that there are lots of empty coaches are being just halted there for, I mean, without any work. And I hope that they would be maintained and they will be refurbished to conduct more services, as we are getting 3 more locos, as well as a 799. And regarding baby Shibok, may I know its current status? And that's it. And thankfully, we'll have a lovely discussion ahead on. Over to you,
Okay.
Rishabh sir.
Thank you, Arko. You have not asked me a question. You have asked me a questionnaire, right? I'm just joking. So yeah, just let me share the station board first. So the heritage station boards were the T-shaped yellow boards that was there. This one is not a heritage board. So what we did was all the diamond boards we have converted them, and we have redesigned them and repurposed them to reflect the good things about that station. Like if you see the Rongtong station, if you this is the Rongtong station board. So this station is known for its Himalayan bird watching, and the red pandas that are there, and for the tea garden. So we have taken these concepts into that. For each station, we have designed the boards on a similar level. In Gayabadi, you will see that the loop that it shows. So Gayabadi has the steepest gradient, sharpest loop that we have, the Agni point. So that represents the circle represents that, and the background represents Lepcha art. So Lepchas were the original inhabitants of Darjeeling, and it represents that. Sonada is known for its Buddhist structures, so it goes. Darjeeling is designed with a background of tea leaves, and a foreground having rhododendron flowers. So yeah, so we have done that. Again, it's a two-prong approach, two-prong need for that. One is again connecting with the locals, and the second is uh, souvenirs. So these souvenirs also sell quite quite well, right? Then coming on to his topics regarding transport, since the roads have developed so well, right, and our limitation is such that we cannot go beyond 30 kmph or even 25 in some sectors. So for practicality purposes, people wouldn't be willing to travel long distances on our train. Having said that, yes, for short distances for school children, especially during the peak seasons in Darjeeling Home sector, starting trains will be a good idea, and we are working on that. The diesel locomotives and the coaches that Arko was talking about, we have plans for them to restore and convert them. But again, the thing that has to be, as he correctly pointed out, is having more trees. And we are also looking at that. There are currently no dedicated services for the lower hills. We are introducing a few services there itself. And slowly and steadily, all these coaches will be put into line. Yeah. So, any other thing, Arko, that you mentioned that I'm forgetting?
David
Yes,
Charlesworth, please go ahead. You have raised your hand.
I mentioned about baby Seahawk locomotive. If you elaborate its current status.
Yes, yes. So Baby Sevak is currently has currently been refired, and it is in working condition in Tindaria workshop. What when Peter will come here, we'll again have a discussion as to how to increase its haulage power, because as of now it fails to carry any load with it, right? But we have had discussions over telephone with Peter. But let him come visit us, and if it can carry even one coach, then we'll put it in service.
Regarding Sir Tindharia workshop and
Mhm.
Dhruti initiative, I would love to. I know that, but I do love to see what people's reaction on it once you elaborate the Dhruti initiative. I don't think that any such initiative is present across the IR network.
Okay. I didn't mention about Dhruti because it's still in its planning stage and there's a lot to be done with that. But Dhruti stands for DHR Upliftment and Training Initiative. So again, it is a platform in which it's basically a platform in which we will like uh, to involve local business person who are small business owners, like honey makers or jam makers, achar makers, spice makers, on various products that are available in hills, and provide them with a platform to sell these products. This is one of the objectives. Second objectives is reskilling them, right? We'll have a dedicated skill unit which can help them get skilled. Again, all these initiatives are part of our larger initiative to involve local people, rebuild the trust that is lost, and get them back with us. Regarding Tindharia, yes, anyone and everyone is always welcome to visit. In charters, we have included a guided tour of the Tindharia workshop as well. We have plans of expanding this workshop as well. Expanded it in the sense that the Tindharia loco shed, which was largely forgotten, we are claiming it back. We are converting it into basically a IOH shop, an extension of the Tendaria workshop. And doing that will hopefully increase the life and the productivity of the steam locomotives as well.
Mr. David
I
Charlesworth, please could you go ahead, please?
Yeah,
Thanks.
thanks.
The bushman. It is very good to be.
Sorry.
Please go ahead.
Thank you. First of all, thank you for an excellent presentation, and thank you also for your hospitality this last fortnight. I was most grateful. It's always a pleasure to be there, and the time you gave me was wonderful on a very, very busy schedule that you had. I also was very impressed with the effort you made to attend the smaller functions. I know you called it inclusion, but I saw how busy you were, and you even managed to get to the little school in Gayabari for their little art competition. We've never had a director that cares so passionately about the people and the railway for getting, well, since about 2012, 2013. So thank you very much for that. Now, I believe on a Zoom meeting like this that I'm amongst friends. I'm amongst enthusiasts, so I can speak fairly freely. You very kindly gave me allowed me a footplate ride from on the Joy train, and in the coaches, I did mention this earlier. In the coaches, you're very well cushioned from the effects of the track. The bogies do take out a lot of the shocks. On the locomotives, you really do start to feel at how bad the condition of the track really is. And if you don't hang on really tight, you will literally get thrown out of the door. The jars are that bad. Now, we've got the initiatives for sorting out stations, which is a wonderful thing to hear. They do need doing. I'm thrilled to hear that we're going to get Tindaria shed restored. I can remember that when there was a full working steam shed. It's a fantastic storage facility. Coaches that have been repaired are immediately start to deteriorate once they're out in the weather. When they're not needed, to store them under cover is the finest way of doing it. So that's a wonderful initiative. But on the serious part, so of starting off with the track, for example, they've used contractors, I believe, for most of the work for quite a few years, a good 10 years or more, and they've just not done the job right. Have you got the staff and the skills to actually do what is normally seen as normal permanent way maintenance? The adjustments needed to correct the curves and to correct the jolts, certainly from Darjeeling to Goom, is not that difficult, but you need to have the teams. Do you have the staff available now with the skills, or have they diminished because we've used contractors for so many years? That's one of my questions. Do you have the staff to do it now?
Okay. So thank you, David. Hope you reached well and there was no jet lag.
No, I'm okay, thank you.
Okay. Okay. So yes, very valid questions, David. So I like to inform this gathering that we started with wooden sleepers, and now we in the middle we switched to metal sleepers, and now we are in the process of finally switching to PSC sleepers. While plastic sleepers would have been better, but yeah, currently we are going with PSC sleepers. So the section that you're talking about, David, the Darjeeling Home section, we will be converting it completely into PSC sleepers. So those are more rigid and very, the gauge is will not be, distorting very easily there. So what happens in Darjeeling and Ghum in the metal sleepers is a lot of the portion is a tramway which runs on the road. Below the Ghum, uh, it is on the hill cart road, but it is a little disconnected. But in Darjeeling, what happens? Darjeeling to Ghum, it is along the road as well. So continuous vehicular movement. Sometimes what we have observed has led to distortion of these gauges. There is some truth in the fact that we have fewer, track maintainers than we should have. We are working on that. I have sent a proposal to the headquarters to increase the number of people here as well. But regarding the skills are there with the people. They know what they are doing. I recently had foot survey of the entire Ghum Sonada region, and I was very impressed by the people that were maintaining the tracks. They knew what they are doing. Maybe it's our fault that we haven't, provided them with more manpower and more helpers, and we are working on that. And hopefully, in a couple of years, you will be able to see a better condition of the track, right?
That's good to hear. It is just normal maintenance. I mean, a tramway, which the DHR is most of its route, it does get damaged by traffic. It is the nature of the railway. But of course, to get permanent way repairs done, it has to be management led. The workforce can't just go wherever they believe they ought to go. It has to be management led. So it does need a bit of pressure to get that
Right.
done. What I'm worried about as well is that with the contractors,
Mm-hmm.
track was laid very, very badly. It was literally
Yeah.
dropped top of the existing bed. It wasn't. There was no digging out, so we had these huge drops from where the new concrete was laid. New concrete sleepers were laid.
Mm-hmm.
These huge dips where it crossed the road because they didn't do the road. That wasn't took, and
Right.
that damages your locomotives badly. It damages the coaches, and it makes trains uncomfortable and slows things down. You will always be the speed. It would never be a fast railway. It was never intended to be. But you
Right,
would be
right,
able to get more realistic timings once that track's sorted out.
right.
The other question I had was about services. And my dream always was that the DHR could be a tourist railway that tourists would flock to see from all over the world because it is absolutely unique. I've said many times I described it as the Jurassic Park of railways. There's no railway in the world that had not changed in 120 years, and the hadn't. The only thing that has changed is the lack of will on behalf of, I would say NFR, to look after it properly. To them, I've always seen it as I believe it's like a thorn in their side. They run big railways. They have bigger issues to deal with, certainly up in the Assam area with landslips up there on the big railways. I've always felt that they felt the DHR was a bit of a damn nuisance. But with you at the helm, I now have renewed faith that we can finally turn this around and get them to appreciate what it is. I do believe that it can still run a service. When I caught the train, and I caught the train from Darjeeling down to Kurseong, it was virtually full. It was a good crowd on it, and the trains I've seen coming up, even though they were late, I saw one of the trains up from NJP up to Kurseong, and it was full. So I think people will still use the train, but first of all, you've got to provide the services that are regular and reliable. I think once people start to see that it's running on time, they will come back to it. The prices are cheap. It's much more comfortable than the car. You accept it's going to take a little bit longer, but you have a wonderful journey. You can actually see the scenery and enjoy the journey. And I believe they will come back to that once you provide the regular services. You can't wait until the passengers come because the services have to come first. I've often thought that you could run with how busy now the section is from Siliguri. I can include NJP because I know that's a bit of a lost end, but it is part of the heritage site. Trains from NJP to Sukna, I think would take a lot of traffic away. You've virtually got shops and housing the entire distance now. There's not much space in between living accommodation, shops, businesses, between Siliguri and Sukna. And I think a regular shuttle service on that bottom section alone could actually benefit if it was reliable and on time. I think the problem we've got actually is trains late off shed at Siliguri Junction. If that can be sorted out, but a regular service on the bottom section would be very, very good, I believe. But again, that's something to look at later. The track condition on there is actually quite good. Finally, though, there's the steam maintenance side. The steam locomotive is a wonderfully simple thing to repair, almost infinitely repairable. And we've had people over to the UK to see how we do it here. We are passionate about it here. And it doesn't take long to raise money from ordinary people's pockets like you and I, raise money to get a steam locomotive repaired. We're that passionate about it. But of course, we've got a difference here, is that our preserved railways have got absolutely nothing to do with British Railways. It's nothing to do with government. They're all entirely private hands. The DHR is different, of course. It is still, part of the national network and in government hands. But it just needs the will to seek out the help where needed and realise that the steam locomotives are a vital part of the UNESCO listing, which is unique, and they're also a vital part of the interest in that DHR. No one else can run services with steam locomotives like you can. From a personal level, I was thrilled to visit. I was thrilled to meet you and see your plans. And I'm actually very excited about the future. And that's the first time I could say that for about 15 years. So thank you very much for that. But do you think we can get steam skills back into Tindaria? And, will you be able to use the DHRS and the skilled people we've got here to actually help? Because we have proven in the past that we can help. We just need the agreement from yourselves to say, yeah, we need to get this sorted out. Do you think that will happen?
Thank you so much for your kind words, David. You are just too kind. You had a very wonderful visit, and
I did have a wonderful
please
visit. Thank you.
keep coming to us. And yes, see, there is nothing that we can't do, right? What I told you then as well, and I'll tell you now as well, that there's never ever a shortage of funds, and there's never ever a shortage of abilities. It's always a shortage of will. So I believe we have a team here who is very willing to go ahead, to relearn things, to adapt to things, right? And the thing that was missing the last time that you guys came around was documentation, right? Which is why I felt this time that having a proper documentation of whatever is being shared is done, and then we'll carry forward from that as well. So be rest assured, we are into far better times, and yeah, will the steam locomotive maintenance is something you wouldn't have to worry about in a few years down the line. Yeah.
That's very reassuring. Tindaria has the equipment,
Yes.
which in itself is unique and historic. Not many people have that sort of equipment, so that needs to be preserved as well. Even the foundry was closed many years ago, which was a bit sad, because you do need a foundry in a steam workshop. So yeah, I've got high hopes for it, and those words are very, very reassuring. Thank you very much indeed. But just I can't emphasize enough. But over here the help is there. It's not unusual. It's not new. Britain lost all the skills for this type of thing. Lost all of it. Threw it away basically. And India and the DHR does not have to make the same mistake. Don't throw it away first. Preserve it now, so that your next generation doesn't have to relearn it completely. They'll thank you for it.
David, all your points are well taken. I'll just conclude with that there are a lot of battles to be, had, but we are choosing our battles first, right? So the more important ones are being dealt first, and everything that you have said is in our minds, but there are priorities through which we'll go, right?
Absolutely.
And thank you so much.
You picked up a backlog of 10 years work, so you've got a hefty load of
Harish Joshi, please raise your hand. Please go ahead.
Yeah. Hello, Rishabh. That was an excellent presentation. Thank you so much. And thank you, Arias, for organizing this. I just will make 3 points. Number one, you said you are making a kind of dedicated center for skills. You haven't mentioned about the track skills. Track skills are extremely important, David was mentioning about the track, and I have also traveled in that section, and I know how bad it is. So track skills are building up in the, as an institutional framework to teach
Sure.
people is also very important. I will request you include not only drivers and guards, loco pilots and guard, but also include track. My second point is that in a long-term basis, as I have seen many of these places in foreign countries, in India, everywhere, have a very good theater presentation. If you can make a film and project it and get revenue out of this will also be a very big revenue earner for you. As I have seen in many places, it pays for itself and it's a very good attraction. Third is, what about hydrogen-based locomotives? There are already some trials going on, and I think for the Kalka Shimla Railway, they have done some experiments. So I request you also switch over to hydrogen-based locomotives, because that's what I feel should be the future. And you keep the steam locomotive as a heritage part, but going for, I don't know whether how good, but how much storage and all that, there will be a lot of costs associated with it. I'm not talking about that. But that option should be looked at, whether acceptable or not. That's a next point of the management and the heritage committee to decide. And I really liked your presentation, and I think we will definitely come. One last point. I want to understand that, I worked in railways. So the revenue from this commercial revenue from the advertisements, commercial revenue from the shops, they all go to headquarters. You don't even get to see it in the divisions.
So
what is your status? Is DHR accounting system built differently? Are you able to take benefit of those commercial revenues, or they just go to headquarters and you are the money is repatriated back to you? What is the system?
So thank you so much, sir, for your kind words. So we are part of the Indian railway system, sir, and while we might not directly get the benefits of the revenues that we are earning, but the revenues that we do earn, the increased revenues, help us in attracting more funds. Like the last year, we have got for the first time a crore of funds from the railway board in heritage, and this time that has increased to a couple of crores. So yeah, so as the revenue increases, so will the funds.
Yeah.
And my apologies, sir. The track maintenance is part of the Dharohar, and it is also everything and anything that is associated with DHR will and all the staff that are associated with DHR will do refresher courses in Dharohar. So that is a done thing. And sir, regarding the hydrogen trains, as you correctly said, the railway board is currently, as of now, conducting trials in Kalka Shimla railways, and so we are waiting for its results. If it is good, then so the situation as of now in DHR is we have a lot of locomotives and a lot of uh, coaches as well, and we have a lot of demand as well. But what we need to build is a better supply system, a better, more trains, and we have to reflect to that to people as well. There have been calls for expanding this network as well. So our MP has written it to railway minister as well, and a general manager, a previous general manager has approved that as well. So maybe when we expand this railway, we can have hydrogen trains in the future. Well, it's a brilliant idea, brilliant concept as well, sir. But that is something that we have to see how the trials go in Kalka Shimla, and if they can run it good for 2-3 years, and then it can be slowly and steadily adopted here in the railways. The primary attraction, though, forever of this railway will always be the steam locomotives.
Yeah, exactly. I fully appreciate that. That can't be done away with without. The basic charm is the steam. Absolutely. I just wanted to why I said about the revenue was, since you said that you are doing after April 25, better than 100% and you are able to generate revenue. I was just wondering whether you are taking that also into account or not. That will, give you a better boost. What I am saying, in your accounting, you put that all, include that by talking to your headquarter, and you will have a
Right, sir.
much better projection to show
Sure.
that you are profitable. I am just suggesting as a railway man.
Sir.
That's all. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir.
Mr. Hemo, please go ahead.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I'm Heim Eichensberger from Munich in Germany. And I have just a very short question. But first, thank you for your very nice and very good presentation. It was very informative. I'm watching a bit the railway since a few years and intend to come back to the railway next year in probably March. And I'm not sure yet if it's with a group. So my question simply is if Mr. Singh can share your contact details with me so I can approach you before, and the tour is for photographic purposes a bit. So get in contact with you beforehand and maybe arrange some things for a depot visit or anything else. So yeah, if Mr. Singh can share the contact, that would be give me the ability to share the contact.
I'll just share the contact with everyone here. So
Okay.
just put it in the chat if it is okay.
All the floor is yours.
Yeah, good morning, Risha. Again, good morning, everyone. Firstly, many sincere thanks, Risha, for a splendid presentation. It really is. This is a first for us to actually have a director of the DHR on a Zoom meeting. And also thanks to RES for having invited you in the first place. The timings are a little bit demanding for those of us here. It started at 05:30, so we're delighted that the talk is being recorded, and we will be publicising that on our website, encouraging our 600 members here and around the world to actually listen in and hear all the progress you're making. You mentioned the willing volunteer status along the line. That may have been there already, but it actually took someone like you to engage with all those people. As David Charlesworth has said, I can hardly think back to anyone who has been more committed to working with the local community there. In terms of how we can help you, then our chairman DHS, David Mead, who you've mentioned, is actually a qualified steam loco engineer. And for the rest of you, you may be interested to know that David and Rishabh have been in detailed recent conversations about how David can help on the steam maintenance, renovation, and so on there. And I know David is looking forward to being able to come out and actually do some hands-on work for you. One tiny little point, the last time I looked, Rishabh, the DHRS website, your own dedicated website, was out of action. I know you're planning to get it up and running again, or I wonder if it is actually happening yet. It's a wonderful way of just telling everyone around the world exactly what you're doing and what you plan.
Yes. So the website will be up and running in the GOOM by the closing of the GOOM festival. We are currently almost done with the designing part. We don't want to be a labored website, right? So we are putting some effort into it, right? We have also put up a payment interface as well. If someone wants to book charters, they can do it directly from the website as well. So yeah, the website will be up and running. And thank you so much for your kind words, David. If I have the permission of the house, I'll just share with you the Darjeeling railway station, the proposed, so it's a 3-minute video. I'll just request you all to have a look at it.
Ooh.
So this entire building is built in Art Deco style, which is different from all the other buildings or station buildings or any other building, because the original building was destroyed in an earthquake. Over the years, what has happened that the view that you see is what was supposed to be look like, but unnecessarily a lot of shops have been introduced, and all this thing was blocked. So we'll have uh, it converted into a more open and welcoming space. There will be through walls that will be there. Necessities, any necessities like the ATM that you just show, a telephone booth, right? So that is actually an ATM. So whatever necessities will be there will be, in tune with the whole style. I'll just mention a couple of things also. So the big building that you see here is the Holiday Home building, which is a very later addition. It was built in the 1990s. This should not have been done because it compromises the original structure. But we cannot, we have taken back a lot of things. We have, removed a lot of things. But this building is something we cannot remove. The original structure, Art Deco style, is of a submarine. If you look at the original photographs, you will get why it is a submarine. So what we have done, we have introduced a mural on the Holiday Home building. Currently, if you see there, there will be an advertisement there, so that will get removed, and we'll have a mural and a place for which people can be proud of. To the left of your screens, you will see a footpath. So currently the size, there is a footpath, but the size of it is about a couple of feet, which is very, less, very short. So what happens is this is a very busy area. So people use the Darjeeling station as a thoroughfare, right? So we want to stop that. So which is why we have extended this footpath through a cantilever. We'll be extended it to about 4 to 5 feet in width. And since this area is very scenic as well, extending this footpath will help remove a lot of pedestrian traffic from the stations to this footpath, and help us maintaining the stations as well in a better and cleaner way.
When do you expect this building to be ready?
So we have got the sanction of railway board with this. PR is with AGM, sir, for approval, and then it will go to board and UNESCO for approval as well. So I think all the approvals may take 4 to 5 months at max, and then we should be good in a. I think for the this whole project is a 2-year project. This will be done in 4 phases. So so from after the tenders are awarded, 2 to 2.5 years is we expect the maximum time. So I think by 2028 we should be good with that.
So one thing that is very clear is that this is a human leadership that is it's leading the project. So I hope you stay in place. We have seen
So,
people take up something and then they get transferred out within a very short time, and then that
so,
initiative
so,
is,
uh,
yeah,
so
you should be
my
guaranteed.
so my posting has been done by Railway Board. I have been assured that I will be here for 5 years.
And you should
So,
stay. You do not want to go back somewhere else.
Anyway, Apurva, you can't count on this.
Thank you, sir.
sir,
Yeah.
Anyway, I know that we can probably carry on for a long time, but since time
sir,
is running out, I would like to end here with a very big thank you to Rishabh for an excellent presentation. A lot of
sir.
issues about the Darjeeling Himalayan Railway have come to light now, which we were probably not aware of, except those who were directly involved. So anyway, thank you very
Yes, sir.
much. And thank
Sir.
you to all who have joined. We've had one of our bigger audiences than we normally have. Thanks a lot.
Right, sir. Thank you so much, sir, for inviting me. It has been a
Yeah.
pleasure, sir. Thank you.
Jay, sir, please share the recording with me.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir. Goodbye. Bye.